Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, November 24th, 2025, Thanksgiving week. And I think we all have a lot to be thankful for as we approach this holiday. I know there's a lot of stuff going on around the world, around our own country, and there's politics and all the stuff that the news throws at us every single day. But I can tell you, I'm thankful that I live in the United States and that I am an American that can celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday. And I know many of us are the same way. And if you're not from this country, I apologize in advance because you're missing out. The food is incredible, always. My wife makes an incredible meal for Thanksgiving: turkey and mashed potatoes and casseroles and bread, and it's phenomenal. And I tell you, I look forward to Thanksgiving. We should probably have Thanksgiving meals once a month. I think I'd be happier if I had a meal like that once a month because it's incredible. Um, I'm also thankful, as you can see behind me now. Currently, obviously, the Fangled Fastback is not sitting here. It is in the back of the shop on the lift or in the lift area. It's not on the lift, it's in the area for the lift. And there was a reason for that. And as you can see from the thumbnail for this live stream, I did a lot of shuffling. And I had to um, get the Cobra Jet. The plan was to put the Cobra Jet out of the paint booth and put it up in my house garage and then put the my Mach 1 in the paint booth. Didn't quite work out that way. I ended up putting my Mach 1 in the house garage, but it allowed me to have access to the lift. So right now, the Fangled Fastback is sitting in the lift area. The Cobra Jet is gone. It is now in Florida. Roger and I transported it this past Friday, and so I'm thankful that that car is finished, at least from what I'm doing with it, and that it is no longer in my presence. I put a lot of effort into that car, a lot of time, uh, blood, sweat, and tears, as we say, and I'm ready to move on to other things. I know a lot of you wanted me to finish that car completely, and at some point I kind of thought about doing that, but I also realized that probably wasn't going to happen. And the reasoning for that was there was too much that needed to come about. Like the engine's not built, the transmission is unknown. I don't know anything about the interior. I don't know anything about the wiring. I don't know. There was none of all that stuff was out of the car when I got it. And while I could probably work on it over a period of what could be another year, maybe 2 years, to finish it, I just can't. I've got other things on my schedule. One of those is the Fangled Fastback. I've got other cars lined up after that that I want to work on. And so I could not dedicate that space or the time to finishing the Cobra Jet. But it is now gone and everything went smooth. Roger and I had a nice trip down there, delivered it. It was emotional, it was fun, and it was good. So I hope that it gets worked on. I hope it gets finished, and that'll have to happen over the course of time. I don't know what that's going to be, and I'm sure I'll get updates. I may get questions about things or calls, and that's fine. I'll help out any way that I can. But right now, that's the status. So I'm thankful that it's gone. I'm thankful that the Mach 1 is now in the paint booth area, and it'll sit there until I need that space. And I will be getting onto the front suspension of the Fangled Fastback. And that'll be a big milestone. You know, whenever you start getting to the point of putting suspension under something, then that that is a great milestone. And that's the plan. Um, that'll be what's happening soon. And of course, this is Thanksgiving week, and I'm not going to be doing anything on car stuff, but I will tell you, sitting behind me over there and this is the boxes for it and different things. That's one of those laser welders. I had a company send me one of these and ask me to do a video on it, and I decided I'll give this thing a shot. And I'll be honest, I'm a little scared of it. I have not even turned it on yet. I've been reading about it. I've been trying to learn about it, making connections and wiring it and do all the things you need to do. And I realize it's a 700 watt laser that can cut through metal. Now, as we think about this, whenever you see a movie and you see Star Wars or something, and they're using a lightsaber, which, let's face it, is basically like a laser, right? And they fire that thing. Well, we think that laser just stops at that point of impact, and it probably does in most cases. Or we think about a laser from a light we use, like to tease the cat and make them chase things around on the floor. But the reality is that that's a very low power laser. It'll stop when it touches a wall. It'll stop when it touches skin. You know, you don't want to aim it at your eyes, obviously. But this thing, apparently, if you cut through metal and you have it on your bench, you'll cut through your bench. Or you may put burn marks on the floor when you're using it. And I never even thought about that. It is so intense. And this 700 watts, I know they make more powerful stuff, obviously. But still, you cut through a piece of metal, that's a laser beam light going, and it has to stop at something. And I've seen videos where guys have been putting burn marks in the floor. So I'm a little anxious about using it. Now, I'll also say this. I made a little video for my patrons talking about this thing. And one of the issues that I was concerned with, as we all know, typically you get a product or tool or something, and it should have everything with it. In my opinion, it should be ready to go out of the box. And this isn't. This thing actually needed a regulator. So I found a cheap regulator on Amazon because you have to supply argon to it. And I have not done anything. This just showed up today, and I've got to connect it. I've got to make this thing work. And it doesn't tell you about that in the instructions, of course. So, there's a nice little generic, cheap regulator, and I'm going to make this connect to that so that I can use it. And the company has been after me for a while now to get a video made, and I'm like, I have other things to do, right? I've got stuff to do. This isn't a priority to me. So tomorrow, I'm going to try to get this thing up and running and try to do everything I can to see it work and function. So I'm anxious about it. I really am. I'm used to a MIG welder and the parameters of a MIG or maybe even a TIG, and I'm just a little anxious about using these things. Okay, so here we are, Thanksgiving week, and I know a lot of you have been following me for a long time, and you like to be here on these live streams, and I do appreciate every one of you for doing that. So first in tonight is Terry Keithley. He says, good evening, everyone in Barry. Please hit the thumbs up and like button for Barry. Prayers for Barry's mom and my wife, Betty. Thank you kindly, Terry and Betty and the cats. Yes, and Terry had sent me an email about Betty, and, I thank you for the prayers for my mom, and, I'll pray for Betty as well. I hope she recovers where she's at. I hope things go well and everything works out. But I'm glad you're here. Dave Tyson, good evening all. Evening, Dave. It looks like now I'm seeing your name with a 2331 number after it. I don't know why if that's something new. We have not seen that before, but welcome, Dave. Glad you're here. Rick Gain, maybe late to the stream tonight. I'm out for dinner with my mom. Right now, hope everyone's doing well, and hit that thumbs up button for Barry. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you. TJ Stangs, DSG Mach 1. Good evening, Barry, and everyone in the live chat from East Dublin, Georgia. Welcome, TJ. Glad you're here. See, I don't know why it's doing that. It wasn't like that before. It must be doing something different again. Vincent Fitante. See, normally it would just say the name, and now it's got this extra. I don't know why. What is that? Anyway, good evening, all. Great job with the video of the Ring Brothers Mustang. The paint was almost as good as the CJ you just finished. Oh, I wish. I wish. There was a lot of paint jobs out there that were just incredible. Steve Reed, hello, Barry and everyone. Hope you had a good trip and hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, and give Barry a thumbs up. Thanks, Steve. Pat Attic, hi, everyone, from Halifax, PA. Welcome, Pat. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. Thank you for inviting us into your garage. You're welcome, Richard. And Rick Stevenson checking in. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rick. And I get my sip of coffee when Rick shows up. Thank you, Rick. Rusty's Restoration. Happy Thanksgiving all from Southern Indiana. The Cobra Jet is looking ready for a road trip. Everyone give a big Thanksgiving thumbs up for Barry. Yes, thank you, Rusty. And Cobra Jet is gone, so yes. All gone. Roger, Hindsight 67. Greetings from next door. Greetings. I don't know why. I've never seen these numbers. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Dave Conville. Good evening, all. Evening, Dave. David Bullerhead guy. Hello, all. Good evening, Barry. Good evening, sir. And Gig'em Garage, Kevin Barth. Happy Thanksgiving. Good evening, Barry, he says. Yes. Thank you, Kevin. Travis Holtman, top 5 patron. Good evening, all. I got the rear of my car about 95% welded, now starting on the front. Yes, and Travis had sent me some pictures of that. Really cool. You know, he's building a 69 Mach 1 and basically using my videos and everything to help him put this thing together. So it's looking great, and I really hope everything continues to go smooth in that build. Jeff Norsenet. Hey, Barry. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yes. Need the little Tiny Tim symbol or whatever, with holding the bowl out, whatever. Happy Thanksgiving. Because I know, as I joke about that, this Happy Thanksgiving, I saw a meme where it was like a mashup. Like they did a little kid holding a bowl out and saying Happy Thanksgiving, like it was the Christmas Tiny Tim, like he was suffering, and he's holding a little bowl, like feed me. It's kind of a mashup thing. Tim Miller, hi everyone. Enjoy the food. Yeah, enjoy the food. I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Artman, hello from Minnesota, right? MN? I guess that's Minnesota. It's got to be. Welcome, Art. Tim says, I got a 70 Mach 1 lower trim panels to fit to new doors, fenders, drilling mount holes, and hood twist locks now. Okay. Yeah. That's great. That sounds like good progress. I'm sure you're thankful to get that moving as well. Rallycat Garage, Harvey. Hello, Barry. Happy early Thanksgiving in the garage tonight. Working on my son's 67 Camaro as I enjoy the show. Awesome. There's a bell. I don't know if I gave you a bell or not. Jeff, Train World. Jeff Walsma. I'm thankful I have a Mustang. Well, awesome. I'm thankful for everybody being here and watching all this. And good bears. Good bear. I don't know what that means. But thanks. Dave Tyson, thanks for the update on the Bronco. Yes. Yeah, the Bronco is looking really good. He's making good progress on it. The only thing he has left to do, I think, was a throttle cable. Because he had bought one, I don't know if it was a low car kit. And you have to, it's just like a free run cable. And you have to make it meet the parameters. And so he was a little confused by how to do that, and I talked him through it so that um, basically, if he has full throttle pedal, that the butterfly is wide open on the throttle body, and that's how you want it to be choreographed. Like if you try to do it with the pedal up and the butterfly closed, you may not get the full motion out of the pedal movement and the throttle body. So I told him to do it wide open throttle, and that way you're already preset, and it doesn't matter where it ends up coming the other way. So he has to do that, and there was something else, and it'll basically be ready to drive. So looking really good. Richland Fabrication. Hello all, and happy Thanksgiving to you all. See, I don't know why it's changing the names here. I don't know why it says that. I'm thinking it's supposed to be, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking it's supposed to be Denny Albee, right? I think. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. But welcome anyway. Jiggy. Happy Turkey Day. I'm thankful for Joe Daddy's Garage videos that have motivated me to try metalwork. That is awesome. That is awesome. You know, I've been getting a good bit of that lately from people, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, that they feel encouraged. They feel like they can do these processes, and I love that. I mean, I really do. I want people to, you know, if you're not familiar with this stuff, it's easy to get intimidated, and I'm happy to have people get involved and start taking on the projects themselves. Hugh is checking in. Hello, Barry from Ada, Ohio. Nice weather for a couple more days here, the nasty weather after Thanksgiving. Yeah, I was just checking that earlier. It was a really nice day here today. It's 64 right now. The high was 74 degrees today. And it'll get down Friday. It'll hit a low of 29 and a low of 33 on Saturday. And then it's just going to hover around 50 to 60 degrees the rest after that. So I can't complain. I really can't. But there's another bell if I didn't give you one. Glad you're here. Richard Vogel, was the laser welder tested for safety in the United States or any other country? I don't know. I really don't know. There's a bunch of guys using it, but I don't know what. I mean, there's a booklet that comes with it, and it gives you warnings and stuff, but I couldn't tell you like if it passed an OSHA test or anything. I have no idea. Oh, Hugh says your mic is quiet on my end. I can't. I've got the thing cranked up as far as I can get it, so it might be something on your end. Jeff says, "Go Bears." Oh, I get it. Not good Bears. Yeah. Okay. Go Bears. And he says, "Darn spell check." Yeah. Spiel cheek. Travis, I for sure would not have been able to do my Mustang without your videos. Awesome. Joseph Candela, welcome. Hello, everyone. On your sheet metal, use 023 or 30 wire spot welds. 030, I need front and rear aprons, and we'll be installing new shock towers. I don't want to cut the hole for an end. Okay. I will tell you this. For the basics of doing sheet metal, 023, 024, 025 is good. Like, you can do any kind of sheet metal with that wire. I have used that size wire many, many, many times. Depends on your skill set and your wire and your welder as well. So, like my old Lincoln 140T, I would put 023, 024, 025 and do all the sheet metal I wanted and not have a problem. These modern welders that I have, like this Yes Welder DP200 that I've been using, I can use the 023, 024, whatever, but I have gotten very comfortable with using 030 or 30,000s. And I don't know if it's just the way the welder works or if it's just how I've developed over time, but I really do like the 30,000s wire. Now, typically I would have used 024 or whatever to make plug welds, and I still can. I don't have any problem with that. And I think in most cases that's fine for everybody to use. But I've gotten used to using the 30. So you can use either, but it depends on how you feel about it. Because whenever at the end of the day, when you're pulling that trigger and you're feeding that wire, you have to understand what you're doing and the physics of it and whether it's meeting the standards you're looking for. So I can't give you much more than that, but either one will work. But it's up to you to feel how you feel when you're welding. Okay, so I can use either one and not have any issues. Joseph, other ideas instead of cutting the whole front end off, using your videos to help me. Okay, so you said you need front and rear aprons, and we'll be installing new shock towers. Well, that's pretty much everything except for the frame rail. And you're asking for other ideas. Those are your choices. I mean, that's what it comes down to. On the 69, I salvaged the shock towers off of the frame rails because the frame rails were no good. And so I used those frame rails on used the old shock towers on new frame rails. So you can replace those shock towers, and it'll take some work because you got to get the welds all loose and all that. But if you maintain the structure where the control arm mounts, then you've got an alignment for your shock tower to fit in that section. I had also salvaged the rear aprons so that it helped with the fitment and alignment as well. But you don't really have many choices. It's either you take everything off the frame rail and start over, or you buy one that's pre-built, a frame rail with everything on it, you pull it out, everything in one shot, and put the new one in. Those are really the only two choices you have that I can think of. Tim Miller in shop installation of gas pedal and Sodium Mach 1, so speak up. Oh, I can't get any louder. Simone is checking in. Hooked on Classics. Hi, Barry and chat. Hope you are well. Thank you, Simone. Hugh says sent you an email. Okay. See if it'll. It's not showing up. Oh, there it is. Oh, putting the car away. Let me just see if I can't pull that up. So sorry. I know I'm staring at the camera and I'm like moving around trying to find my download button so I can pull this up. So Hugh has that nice blue Mustang, and here's his shot. So putting it to sleep in the trailer, and that's okay. I'm glad you have a place to put it. Looks like you're putting some blankets over. That's good. So that's a good thing. I didn't get the other picture out, but yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, save it, keep it safe during the winter. Oh yeah, Doyle. Sorry, it's changed the name of my account to the @. It's me, Doyle Walker. Okay, sorry, Denny. I mean, Doyle. I got the D. It's messing me up. I mean, like, why is it doing that? I don't know what they've done, what they've changed. It should not be doing that. So, I apologize, Doyle. Dave Tyson, we get snow starting tomorrow. Oh, good for you. You can have it. You can have it. Travis, the sound is also just a bit lower, but it's not bad. Well, I don't know what else I could do because the microphone is literally right in front of me, and I have it cranked up. I'll turn it up a little, just a hair more. Maybe that'll help. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's gotten used to bouncing off of the Fangled car because it sat right behind me and it created a chamber. Maybe that's what it was doing. Um, Doyle says, I ordered my carpet, windshield, and trunk divider panel and bought a hanging 240-volt shop heater so I can work on when it's cold. Oh, that sounds nice. That'll be nice. Harvey says, I use 30,000 watt for everything, adjust heat, wire speed, and torch distance accordingly. 20-year-old Blue Point welder, nothing digital. Yep. And like I said, you can use, it's how you feel about it, whatever you can do. Hugh says, I have to replace the last 12-inch rear frame on the driver's side where the leaf spring attaches, so I'm replacing bushings and everything. Oh, okay. That's not fun, but I'm glad you're going to fix it. Richard, can you show everyone the weld samples that came with the laser welder? I sort of can. Let me see where they're at. So, this laser welder, when they send you this kit, I don't know how else to show up. It's really difficult to pull this off with this little camera. They send you a little piece of metal, okay? And part of it is this angle that's cut with a laser. Part of it is these long, little, tiny weld beads that are very small. These are I'm gonna say maybe an 1/8 inch wide. Maybe, and that's one thing I don't like about, without testing it yet and knowing. I don't know how well you can see that in the light reflecting off of it. But those welds are nice. They're clean, they're beautiful welds, but they're only about an 1/8 inch wide. And I don't know if that's with the wire feed. I would assume it is, or just the laser. And see, that's the thing I got to get figured out, because the laser is actually doing the burning of the metal. It's melting it together. You can use just the laser to put two pieces of metal together, no filler, or use MIG wire and feed it into the joint where the laser is hitting, and it melts that all together. So I guess they just give you this to show you the potential, and then on the back side, it looks like they've made little passes with it, and then I think the middle area may be where they just took the laser and cleaned the metal. I'm guessing. I don't know. There's no description with this. It's just like, here's something. So, I don't know. I'm gonna find out, and I'll probably find out tomorrow. Probably. Simone says, I spent today working on my daily 22-year-old car, removed 3 of 4 injectors as one is stuck, and found a broken glow plug. Oh, that's no fun. Travis is talking to, I know it says Richland Fabrication. I just installed a 10K watt heater, works amazing. Okay. That's a positive. Hugh says, your thumbnail picture was a car going into the trailer. That's why I shared my picture with you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And, that was when I was loading up the Cobra Jet, getting it on the trailer. And I'll say this. I've debated on getting an enclosed trailer. And I know it's obviously it's an investment, right? I don't do a lot of direct hauling anymore. If I'm going to get a car, usually somebody brings it to me to work on. But I've thought about it from the point of, if I get something done, like the Cobra Jet, and I need to take it somewhere, it would be nice to have it in an enclosed trailer. Thankfully, my buddy, I'll give him a shout out. He owns Atlanta Auto Restoration. He allowed me to use his trailer, and I was very grateful for that. Now, this trailer is a 24-foot enclosed trailer. So if you do the math, it's a 24-foot if you consider it a cube, or less, like a rectangular cube, right? Um, but you add in it has an area on the nose, so it creates a wedge in the front. So it's 24 feet plus that wedge. It ended up being that the trailer itself, from the tail of the trailer to the ball on the trailer or truck, was 30 feet. So what that means is you got to really have some room to make big turns. And I mean, I've towed a lot of different things before, and didn't bother me. I had to be real careful with it because you could easily wipe out a side going through a gas pump. You can't get it, quite right. So again, if I was considering getting an enclosed trailer, it would probably be a 20-foot. It's easier for me to manipulate or drive, around in areas. And I would do the wedge nose on the front, the V nose, for like a storage area. And I think that makes sense. Mostly everything I'm going to haul is going to be a pony car, like a Mustang or a Camaro. I don't see me loading up a 72 Lincoln Continental. I don't see that happening. But I also have to think about, is it justifiable? And the reality is it's probably not, because I would have it sitting here and I would probably just put something in it and put another car in that trailer and then not be able to use it. So I'm better off probably not having one at all. Simone says, I've seen the scam laser welders advertised on YouTube. Well, that's the welder right there. That is the welder. Now, is it a scam? I don't know yet. I will be honest. Whenever I do my videos, and I know that the company they're going to want me to do an advertising type of video, right? They're going to, hey, promote this, promote that. What they may not realize is they're going to get a video that I'm doing an unboxing, I'm doing a connection, I'm putting it together, and they're going to get a real honest review out of me, whether it's good or bad. If it works, I'll say it works. If it doesn't, I'll say it doesn't. But I can't say it's a scam, because there are welders out there using these, and I've seen people weld together. In one video I saw, the guy took a rocker panel, put two pieces of rocker panel together that had a gap. It was like it was a tapered cut, right? And it was tight on one end and a 1/4 inch gap on the other. And he did all that in one weld. He tacked it, and then he filled that thing in using that laser welder and bridged it over all in one shot. And I was like, that's pretty good. Because I know with a MIG, you're gonna get a lot of heat, and you end up burning through. So you have to like stop and go, let it cool a split second, and get your welds built up. But he did it all with one shot. So I was like, this may be a good thing. I'm gonna find out. Hugh says enclosed trailers are great mobile storage units. Yeah, that's what they become. And he says mine is a 22-foot plus a V-nose. I built a work bench in the front V-nose part. Yeah, and that's like I said. Because a Mustang, I think a Mustang is basically like 16 feet long. So to me, a 20-foot trailer with a V-nose, you've got 4 feet. You're gonna have some room front and back, and then put the V in. You could store your straps and all that sort of thing. So, I might consider a 22, but really a 20 is probably where I was at. And I was even thinking about, could I use a 16-foot trailer with a V-nose and just get it all the way forward? But I don't think that'll work. I think a 20 is probably where I would be. Rick, do you need special optics to use a laser? I know at work we have to use specific goggles matched to the wavelength of the laser. That is a great question. And yes. The answer is yes. I have not even pulled these out yet. I have I'm going to pull down your comment. This says 800 to 900 nanometers, I guess. Yeah, and then 900 to 1100 nanometers OD. I don't know. It's all another language to me. But it has these goggles or lenses, and these look like sort of like a welding. Like I have some that I use for using plasma cutting, but yeah, these are green. I mean, I can look through. You probably can't see through them very well, but they're green, and it has some data on the front here. Bunch of words. I don't know. So I have not have not just opened these up. So I'm going to find out. I'm going to be very careful with this thing because I don't know. It's just when I'm unfamiliar with something, I take extra precaution. Tim, for what it's worth, found accelerator cable in 70 Mach 1, and cables available was 69 hole, and firewall was 70 is round and 69 square. Can't find 70 cable at all. Some parts are tough to get, and some, I guess, same OEMs. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sometimes they are, it is hard to find the correct stuff. Artman passed the first scam test. They actually sent you something. Yeah. Thanks, Art. I've had pretty good luck with companies, like Yes Welder and Art Captain. They've sent me a bunch of stuff over the years, and I really do appreciate it. I mean, I've my Yes Welder or my Lincoln 140. I haven't even turned that on in probably 6, 7, 8 years. Ever since Yes Welder started giving me, machines, and then I had the Art Captain, and it still works. I don't have any complaints about it. But Yes Welder sent me a new one, so I did a video for them. But yeah, they did send it, so I'm gonna have to try it out. David, I've heard the laser welder has issues with penetration on thicker material. Yes, and that was something I was looking at. I was thinking, without knowing the parameters of this thing, and working towards getting the front suspension on Fangold, I thought, boy, this would look really nice if these welds can be, that wide and really smooth, but I'm not going to use it. Everything I've seen has been really, really these little narrow welds. That ain't going to cut it. It might cut it if the car, if the car was just going to sit, but I know it's not going to sit. So it's going to have some manly welds holding all this together like it should. Simone says, if it works, I want one. Okay, well, they're not cheap, but I'm going to try it. Simone, Hugh, have you ever welded with a torch? I tried it. I think I will stick with my MIG and stick welders. I have oxyacetylene welded, and believe it or not, I've only ever welded one thing. I think one thing, other than being trained with the oxyacetylene setup, and it was an airplane. Yeah. When I went to A&P school for aircraft, be a mechanic, they give you welding, training. So TIG welding, oxyacetylene, and it was interesting because I was doing my welding, and I've been welding since I was probably 10 years old, and all that prior was stick welding. So when I was in A&P school, and I'm going through the training, one of the instructors came by and he was like looking at my welds, and he said, I need you to come with me. And I was like, oh, great. What did I do? Well, the school that I went to is Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics. And part of that school is they work on live aircraft. Like, they do maintenance and repairs on functional live aircraft, not just junk. So customers bring planes in to get them fixed. And this plane I was working on, I don't remember what it was exactly. It was the fuselage was made out of small tubing, like half inch, and it was covered with a fabric. But the wind had flipped this thing over, like it tailed over, and the tail hit the ground and it bent the rear of the aircraft. Well, they actually sell repair pieces of that, like the tail section and the back section of the fuselage. So it's interesting because we think about metal in cars, and we don't think about so much airplanes being made out of steel, mostly aluminum and all that. But what it was is the tubing, like I said, about a half inch. I don't remember the dimensions of it. So you have these long rods, long tubes that come down and create the taper, to the back of the tail. The company, Cessna or whoever, they sell a replacement because they know that happens and planes get damaged that way. So the repair is sleeving that tube together. And when you do that, you put basically plug welds or rosette welds on. You drill a hole through the tubing, you put the sleeve through the tubing, and then you plug weld it or rosette weld it through those holes, and that creates that lock-in for the sleeve. And then you repeat that with a new piece. You slide it on, and now you've got two tubes connected by a center sleeve. Really a good design. And that's what I did. The instructor took me over to that plane. He said, "I want you to put this together." And I'm like, "Okay." So sure enough, that's what I did, and that was my test. That was all I needed to do. And I used the oxyacetylene torch and put it together. They were very happy with it. So that's the only time that I've really ever done that in a serious way. But yeah, I've done it before. A lot of old timers would use coat hangers too. That was the metal they would use. Take an old coat hanger, heat it up, melt it in. That was a common thing. Rick says dinner was good, but diner was very overpriced. Won't be going there again. Hope everybody's doing well. Missed the first part of the stream, but we'll go back and listen later. Okay. Glad you're here, Rick. Simone says the one I had seen were being sold as a welder, but were actually a soldering iron. Oh no. This thing is scary. Let me just. Well, I'll be making a video, but this is the laser, and this thing has a fiber optic cable connected to it. So this is all fiber optics and gas coming through it. And what it does, I'll give you a brief explanation. This section back here is a motor. And then there's a lens somewhere in here. I think it's in this front section right here. And the light comes in. This motor wobbles it back and forth to make the light go back and forth coming out of the end. And that's how it makes the weave. So you don't do it. The motor makes it oscillates back and forth and wiggles the light to make it come together. And then this section down here, this piece, is where you connect your wire feed, and the wire comes up underneath here, and that's how that works. So I haven't done anything with it. I'm just kind of being cautious. It even talks about the idea that you can't put too much stress on that thing because the light won't work right or the laser won't work right, whatever. So I'm just going to back up a little bit and take my time with it. Travis, I need a good small portable vacuum. What was the one you have? That was from Evolution Power Tools. I know in most of all my videos, I have a description box underneath, and yeah, there's one for Evolution Power Tools in the description below for this video. I like that little thing a lot. It's about that big, and it'll do wet, dry, and it's battery operated. Um, yeah. So check that out. Evolution Power Tools. Terry says apparently the weld fell on the engine that fell off the plane in Louisville. Actually, I don't know if it was. I won't say. I don't know what the NTSB has said. The problem they were having with these engines, from what I gather, is the maintenance facilities that were working on them were not using the proper tools to install the engines. And this has been ongoing since like the 70s. Like, from what I understand, they were taking a forklift and lifting that engine up into the carrier assembly. Let's put it that way. And in effect, they were creating damage every time they did that. And finally, they may have changed their how they did it later, but that was what places were doing. They were using a forklift, and there's actually an engine hoist system that pushes that engine up nice and gently into the carrier so you can put the bolts in. My understanding is they found years ago, back in the 70s, that guys were using a forklift, and they'd push it up nice and tight. And every time they were pushing it up, they were creating damage in that thing. And then that sounds like what ended up happening. So I can't say it was welds, because there's really no. Most of those that assembly is cast or machined. It's not like welded together. I don't. I can't say that there should be welds there, but it may have been repaired at some point. Simone said, she says, that looks super space age. I love it. Yeah, it does look. I'm just hoping I can make it work the way it's supposed to. Artman, every shop I've worked in has had a torch and a pile of coat hangers from the uniforms. Now I'm in a place with a rear welder, and I kind of suck at it. We still have a torch and uniform hangers. Yeah. That was what they used. They would use hangers. Simone's just taken a while to get the hang of welding. This time last year I was at college earning my MIG qualification. Awesome. That is a good thing. I mean, that's a skill. Honestly, I think everybody should have skills like that. I know I get asked frequently from friends of mine, hey, I broke my mower deck and can you weld it for me? It's like, yeah, sure. Bring it on by. Or it could be anything, any kind of yard implement. And it's just a handy thing to have. Now, a lot of times you get by with just flux core. Depending on, if you're working on a lawnmower or something, big deal. Use flux core, nice and portable. And then, of course, the idea that if you needed to, you can take it's in particular a flux core welder. And like farmers, they use them all the time. They got a problem with a fence or a gate. They don't want to take the gate down and bring it into the barn. They'll load up the generator and a flux core MIG and go out there and fix it. And it's a great tool to have and skill to have. So, anywho, as I said, the plan moving forward is to get the front suspension going on the Fangled Fastback. Also, in the next week or two, not this coming week, it'll be after the 1st, so maybe a week or so. I'm going to go get the Falcon that I talked about. And I'm going to ask this and get an opinion. I'm sure everybody will have a positive opinion on this. I'm thinking about making, how do I put it? Making the Falcon into a destination project, if that makes sense. So I've seen other YouTubers make a video series where they build a car for a purpose, like the Hot Rod Power Tour, right? Maybe cruising the coast or something like that. Now, obviously, I'm going to keep working on the Fangled Fastback. That's the priority. And I'm not going to, I mean, I can work on that 5 days a week. I can work on it X number of hours a day, and I'll get stuff done. And it's going to get done. But I thought about doing the Falcon as a potential for taking it on like the Hot Rod Power Tour. Now, I don't know when I know they came through Atlanta a couple years ago. I don't know if they normally do the same things. I don't know. I've only seen one, and that was when Roger and I went to the one in Atlanta Motor Speedway. But I really am thinking about doing that and making a destination project. So I've already said I'm not building this car to stock. I am not building it original. I do plan to use the Chevy engine that I have sitting in the back, probably the 2-speed Power Glide, whatever pieces and parts that I have, and putting it together to make it a drivable car and potentially take it on the Hot Rod Power Tour. And I just like, that might be a fun thing to do. Now, what I need to come up with is kind of a name idea for that project. And because we named the cars. So you have the Fangled Fastback, you had Jade, you had the Crunchy Cobra Jet, Mystique, the Brooklyn Pony. So I'm trying to come up with something that I could maybe use for the Falcon. But that's been I've wanted to do the Hot Rod Power Tour for quite a while, but I've never really, I don't know, I didn't want to take Jade on it. I was like, I don't know if I really want to get out there with this car. But I think the Falcon, because it's going to be an oddity, it's not going to be a restoration. It's going to be a rat rod sort of stock car build, and I think it'll turn heads. I'll just say that. I'm thinking about using the wheels that I had on Jade. Maybe I've got those. I've got the Barrett wheels that came with it, and I'm just kind of playing with the idea. I just think it'd be kind of fun. And then if I do that and promote it and say, hey, I'll be on the Hot Rod Power Tour, come find me at XYZ. And I think people would like that. So just give me some thoughts on that if you want later on or whatever, or email me or whatever you want to do. But that's just something I'm kind of thinking about. David says, looks like it can double as home defense. The laser welder, yeah. I'm telling you, it's 700 watts, and to me that's a little scary. Dave Tyson, when I went to trade school, the welding class didn't have MIGs back then. Yeah. My welding school was in my dad's garage using a Lincoln Tombstone big 220 stick welder. And I've joked about this before. Whenever I learned to weld, basically self-taught, my dad never had a helmet with the headgear in it. And so you just had basically like a helmet that you had to hang on to. And so when I would learn to weld, and my brother was the same way, we would hold the helmet with one hand and you learn to be good with the other hand, right? Now, when you see me do the MIG, a lot of times I'm taking one hand and another hand and I'm using it as a guide, helping, push it along or whatever. But when I learned to weld with a stick, I would hang on to the helmet and do my welding. So as I grew into that, and it took me years to get away from this, probably in some of my earlier videos, you may see me doing this. I'm hanging onto the helmet still. I got a headband and everything, and I'm hanging onto that helmet, and I'm trying to weld. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why? But it's a motor reflex. It's just how it is. So that's how I learned. Rick Gain, next year to duct tape drives for the Falcon. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds like right up my alley. I have to look that up. Hey, Matco Man. Hey, Rowan, make sure you use oil hangers. And new ones are not real. Oh, I guess old. Sorry. Not oil. Old. Make sure you use old hangers. The new ones are not real metal. I don't know that I'll be doing that anyway, but thanks for that. And glad you're here. Richard, is your hand any better? That's debatable. Um, Better is relative, right? So I still can't straighten my middle finger out, and it may never go. It may never just stay straight. When I wake up in the morning, it's curved over like that, and I have to like force it to move. Um, there's still a lot of pain in the joint. I don't like that at all. There's a lot of pain going on. There's pain in this part of my hand now, and I think it's because I'm compensating with these two fingers to grip stuff and over squeeze with those because the middle finger is just still not doing what it's supposed to do. They told me I had to massage out the scar tissue, so I've been abusing this hand trying to get that out of there. I really wish I wouldn't have done that surgery. Now it's just not making me any happier. Vincent, today I went to check out a 70 Mustang convertible in Vermont. The undercarriage was sprayed with used motor oil. What a mess. That's a common thing, actually. Up north, that's a lot. People used to do that a lot. Are you looking for a 70 convertible? How about that? That's the real question. Because I know where there's one sitting. I know where there's one right now for sale. Let me know. Email me or something. And I'll see if I can hook you up. And it's in Georgia. So it's not covered in oil. Michael Pagliarini says Cannonball Run. That would be interesting. Is there still some sort of race called the Cannonball Run? I don't even know. Rick just got a whole bunch of new clothes hangers. Was not sure what I was going to do with the old wire hangers. Now I know. There you go. You can sell them off and say they're welding rods. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, like I said, I was thinking about doing something. Hot Rod Power Tour. If there's I don't know if there's any kind of thing called a Cannonball Run anymore. I don't know. But I might be interesting to check into some of that. Okay, we're getting close to 1 hour, and I have not eaten, so I'm getting hungry. I had to update on my. I'll just give you this. There's an update, sort of update, on my son's Toyota Sienna. It's not done. My buddy rebuilt the transmission. It lasted about 100 miles, and something's wrong. And so we took it back to him, and I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. So we're working on getting my son and his wife another van, and just going to help them out with that. And so the Toyota, I don't know what's going to end up. We'll end up selling that off. But, sometimes it's great to have friends that do things, but it's even better to have friends that do things and take care of you and, get it all done and right. I know it's probably not his fault. It's probably, I think the torque converter, I think, is what had failed, a brand new torque converter. And, these things, who knows anymore how well they're made. And I know he's got a lot on his plate. So I'm not faulting him, but it's just frustrating whenever you're trying to get stuff done or finished, and you keep hitting a brick wall. And I think that's what he's running into. Travis says buy that 70 convertible for him. Oh no, not for my son, no. Pat says if you didn't already have an engine choice for the Falcon, a 410 sprint car engine and quick change rear end would be wild. Well, yeah. I don't think I'm going to be able to go down that path. I want to try to keep it as tight a budget as I can. So I'm going to sell off stuff that I don't use and see how close I can stay to like a break even. That's the goal. So, all right. I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Make sure you eat a lot of food and take a lot of naps. That seems to be the norm. But I do plan to be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock. Hope you all are here as well. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.